So hey everyone, if this is your first time on the channel, welcome to Breaking Through, a YouTube channel where I'm documenting my journey from complete amateur to some form of racing driver getting on track. Well, what you'll find is with any kind of journey on the track, typically you're going to need a car, a race car, and you're going to need some space to work on it. And so this video is all about my kind of transformation of my my garage. As you can see, phase one, as it were, is just clearing it out. Right, I've got so much stuff everywhere. Got shelves that have got rusted nails and screws in them. Like, as you can see, I've switched from the nice screwdriver attack to kind of brute force with the hammer and crowbar. Effectively, this first phase was just clearing it out and getting as much out as we could and kind of turning it back to a bare shell. This piece of wood, honestly, it took me so long to defeat. I don't know how long it took me. There's a timer on the side, probably at least like 10 or 15 minutes. But it was secured in with some massive nails that I couldn't get out, and decided to go down the angle grind route, which you'll see a little bit later. But as you can see, pretty happy with myself. Nice honest morning's work clearing out a garage. Then it was onto the basics. So it's got fluorescent lighting. Some of the cabling was bizarre, like cabled into or secured into some just loose pieces of wood. I went for a hexagon license. This was an initial test fit, and here's some of the prep work of the ceiling before I got onto to painting effectively. And you know, for the electrics, I had a friend kind of make sure that it was all legit and all safe. But painting is something that I definitely can do myself, even if I'm not the best, as it were. The best bit of advice I got when it comes to renovating any kind of room is just start with the top and go down, and so that typically means with the ceiling. So decided to actually just do the painting of the ceiling first, which to be honest actually always makes sense, because you always end up spilling when you're working up at heights. And so start at the top and work your way down is the advice I've always been given. And so once I'd done 2 coats of the ceiling, it was then on to actually the full fit of the hexagon lighting. Came out really great, and as you can see, I made a mess everywhere, but on the ceiling starting to kind of come together. What you'll see now is some of the revenge I was getting on these nails. They were absolutely stuffed in there. So yeah, a bit of fun getting the angle grinder out for a bit of light work, getting some screws out, and as you can see, I was pretty happy with myself about how easy that went. Now we're onto the wall. So the wall itself, I want to turn into a feature, but as you can see, it's a bit of a mess. Bit of rust, bit of all sorts of gunk and grime, and certainly lots of like old mortar, because this was never really meant as a kind of show wall. But I went down the route of using a brick acid, which I can say was the best decision that I made here. Super easy to apply. Obviously, as you can see, you have to be a little bit careful, so I fully PPE'd up. Gloves, mask, goggles, the works. As you can see, I'm actually protecting my fresh new paint on the ceiling using a bit of offcut of OSB to just make sure I don't overspray. I did overspray a little bit on some of the copper piping, and that turned it discoloured, so I had to work to kind of clean that off. But yeah, I guess the main thing with this is just make sure you don't overspray on things that don't like acid. and then obviously just make sure after you've applied it that you then brush down the excess, and also give it a rinse off. So you don't want to leave the acid on the wall. You just want to use it for the amount of time it needs, brush it down, and then kind of rinse it off. I did get a slight bit on my hand, and you can feel the kind of tingle, as it were, and that's the signal to just start rinsing it with water and leave it underwater for a while. Everything was fine. It was just yeah, you've just got to be very careful with this sort of chemicals and equipment. But yeah, that was a really worthwhile thing that I did, the brick acid. And as you can see in a second, in terms of the difference, I mean, the before, bits of mortar everywhere, bits of rust, bits of everything, years of grime. And afterwards, it's like a brand new wall. It's just incredible how well it works, and would highly recommend doing this if you're going to use a kind of brick feature wall. I was thinking actually at one point of painting the brick, but I'm so glad I didn't, because it just needed a little bit more life brought into it. And so yeah, then it was on to some fixing. So I decided, actually, I've got this massive ladder I just never really use it. Occasionally I do need it, so it's not worth getting rid of. But I just wanted it out of the way, so decided to mount a few hooks, just to kind of mount it at the top. I actually bought 4 hooks for this, but realised actually after mounting 2, it was probably sufficient because the ladder's actually not that heavy. And then it was on to mounting a couple of other things onto the wall. So one of them being the bikes. So mounting the bikes onto the wall, just making sure I mount it in an orientation that doesn't hit the garage door as that opens. So lots of measurements and checking that all went fine, which it did, which was really nice. And actually I like this sideways orientation because it just looks a bit nicer than some of the other ways that you can obviously mount bicycles on the wall. And then after mounting the bicycle, it was time to think about the flooring. Now, flooring, what can you do with a garage floor? The obvious one is just to paint it. So you can get like a garage floor paint, pretty easy to apply, but nearly all the reviews I read online of garage floor paints is that they just flake off straight away. In fact, one review really made me laugh, which was they painted it, waited for it to dry, drove their car on it, and then just their car tyres just turned grey from the paint because it just peeled off onto the paint, onto the tyre. So I thought, that just sounds a bit rubbish. I don't really want that, so I started to look at other options. There's lots of different kind of floor tiles you can go for. I went for a kind of this PVC kind of jigsaw style, and it worked really well. The way to lay it effectively is lay everything that you can that doesn't need a cut, and then start cutting. Start with the easiest cuts and then go and progress to the more complex. So these are the easy cuts, obviously just straight cuts against the wall. And then obviously I had some more complicated cuts in the corners, and obviously in this middle bit, this was a little bit of a challenging one because you've got a tiny bit on one side and a larger bit on the other. And yeah, I was actually impressed with my jigsaw cutting skills. It was the first use of a jigsaw that I'd done. If you're going to do this, just get a jigsaw. It makes things so much easier. If I'd have tried anything else, it would have just been a nightmare. So mounted the bikes, and then it came to the other bikes on 2 wheels, the motorbikes, and I just thought, actually, do you know what? Let's move them inside because it's been raining, and let's take a couple of pictures because I'm just impressed with already how things have progressed. So moved them around, took some pictures, and then it was on to the last bits, which was really the storage element. So obviously in the previous orientation we had loads of shelves, and obviously I wasn't going to have this in this new layout, but I did want to have some storage, so I decided to go with some just MDF board and create some shelves just to hang above the garage door. Pretty much all I've put up there is just offcuts of wood for different projects, and bits of old skirting board and things that I know that I'll need at some point, or at least I think I will. Who knows? They may sit there for many years to come, but I just wanted somewhere to put them. And then after doing that, it was all about the polystyrene and the lagging, the pipe stuff. What you'll not see behind that pipe lagging is I actually mounted the helmets, which we'll get to on the wall, and also some of the jackets, but this camera is kind of blocked by that. And then it was ripping off this lagging, and that was about it. And I'll now cut to a video of me after I've finished everything, giving you a bit of a tour. Okay, and so this is the final product. So talking through things, obviously mounted the bicycles onto the wall here. Went for a sideways orientation to kind of leave a bit more space because it's quite a thin single garage, so more space against the wall in this orientation. I've also got my Halford's 200-piece socket and wrench set, which is pretty standard kind of starter kit for most people in terms of getting ready to wrench. One of the big things, obviously, the lighting. So this is a hexagon LED kit that I got on Amazon. Actually a really good price of only about £80, which was a pretty good deal. Moving around, obviously got the motorcycles, so Honda Grom and the MT-07, and then obviously the other bicycle here mounted on the wall in the same orientation. One of the big things which may not have come out through the process is the brick is now so much cleaner. So I use this brick acid, which effectively just took all of the gunk and grime off the brick, which really kind of makes it pop. In terms of other stuff, obviously I put some storage above the garage door, which is pretty neat. And staying with the motorcycle theme, I've mounted the helmets and the gear, and we've also got a bit more gear kind of just hanging here just as you enter. One of the interesting things, which I probably talked about already because this has been at the end of the video, is the unique orientation of my garage. So obviously 2 garage doors, you can drive all the way through it, which presented some interesting challenges, which I'll kind of get to. I've also got the boiler and all of this pipe work. There was a load of pipe insulation, or what was called lagging, everywhere. My plan is to eventually replace all of that with some black lagging. So I've ripped it out for now, and I'll put the other stuff back. I've also given the inside of the garage door a bit of a clean, which it definitely needed. One of the other big things, obviously a big decision, is the flooring. So this is I think PVC or kind of plasticky material. It locks together with like a kind of jigsaw pattern. I have to say I love it. Makes a massive difference to the space. Obviously, probably the most expensive thing in the entire build, but I would say definitely makes a difference. The other obviously big change would be the hexagon on lighting. But what was unique, like I was mentioning around my space, is so at the edge you have these kind of ramps. I don't know if that's going to come through, but you have these little ramps that kind of get you up because obviously you're lifting the floor height. But obviously most garages are solid at the other end. So what I ended up having to do was cut out the kind of pattern and create my own male-female kind of connections at this end, which I think, to be honest, using a jigsaw, I've done an okay job of. It's not perfect, but it'll certainly do. But yeah, that's the garage. The only other thing to mention is above this garage door. I don't know if you can see this, I've got some additional storage, put another shelf up just for some extra storage. And yeah, what I've also done is, so the hexagons, I've only laid actually 4, which was fine for my space. I bought a pack of 5, and so I've got some spares just in case my cheap Chinese hexagon lights don't last as long as I was my like. But yeah, I'm really happy with how all of this is turned out. You know, anyone that's interested in things on 2 wheels or 4 wheels, and especially on my motorsport journey, I wanted to have a really nice and clean space for me to start working. I've got the basics in like I mentioned, the Halford's 200-piece set. I know I'm going to need a lot more tools than that. But yeah, looking forward to this journey, and hopefully you've enjoyed and learned something along the way. The other thing I'll note is in this video, you'll probably see a lot of time lapses. That's just my little Ring camera, which has been capturing everything. And to be honest, it was almost by accident that I left that plugged in. So yeah, that's kind of captured a lot of the time lapses that you would have seen in this video. So yeah, that's the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, anything you would change or any things to add. Be interested to get your thoughts. So yeah, that's my new garage.